All right, close your eyes for just a second and picture the absolute apex of professional motorsports. You've got the unmistakable roar of high-performance engines echoing off the grandstands, the smell of burning rubber, and that intense, high-stakes atmosphere of a professional race day. Now, for most of us, that world feels entirely out of reach, right? It's like this closed ecosystem reserved only for people who have literally been karting since they could walk. But what if there was a designated, engineered pathway specifically designed to take you from being a casual track day enthusiast straight into the heart of professional endurance racing? Imagine yourself here at the IMSA weekend, competing and learning, getting ready to go to the next level. And you know, that isn't just slick marketing copy. That's the core philosophy behind this whole initiative. It directly places you right there on the tarmac. We're talking about genuine integration into the highest levels of North American sports car racing. So we're going to see exactly how BMW has engineered not just a cool car, but a comprehensive learning system to take drivers and their entire teams from the grassroots level directly onto the big IMSA stage. Section 1, Accessible Entry to Motorsport. Okay, let's dive into this. We need to look at the proof of concept, and here's a massive indicator of grassroots demand. BMW has already sold 31 of these M2 racing cars directly to country clubs. 31. They aren't just pitching these to elite professional racing syndicates. They're putting these cars right where the casual, well-heeled enthusiasts are already spending their weekends. By targeting country clubs first, BMW is actively investing in the next generation of drivers, right where they're most comfortable. It totally removes that immediate intimidating barrier of having to join a top-tier racing team just to get behind the wheel. And why did 31 cars sell so fast? Because this is positioned as one of the most reasonably priced race cars you're ever going to buy. BMW made a really specific, deliberate choice here. They already had a formidable lineup, for sure, but they realized they needed to create a vehicle that intentionally sits below their higher-end GT4 models. The M2 was engineered to be that true, cost-effective entry point. It significantly lowers the financial barrier to entry without stripping away any of that legendary BMW motorsport pedigree. It's a highly accessible investment if you're looking to finally get serious about your track time. Moving right along to Section 2, Bridging the Racing Gap. Stated goal is to get the casual person to understand that racing is not that hard. Now, that sounds wild, right? Professional racing is incredibly hard. But the point they're making is actually about the transition. The whole idea behind the M2 Racing program is to build a direct bridge. The goal is that you can smoothly step from your local country club track right onto the IMSA circuit with surprisingly few modifications to the car or even your fundamental approach. You literally just show up to the track and go racing. That intimidating barrier of operational complexity, it's been completely stripped away. So to actually build that bridge, BMW and IMSA introduced something called the VPRC Endurance Format. This newly announced race structure acts as the ultimate immersive classroom. It's not just some quick sprint race where you go out for 20 minutes and head home. No, this endurance format is explicitly designed to be the perfect stepping stone into other professional racing series. It forces you to manage your tires, manage your fuel, and sustain your focus over a really long period. And that's exactly the skill set you're going to need when you step up to the big leagues. But here's the kicker. This ecosystem isn't just about the person holding the steering wheel. It's about what the entire team learns. We're talking IMSA sporting regulations, high-pressure pit stops, and incredibly complex race procedures. The M2 Racing Series brings together all the real-world regulations and operations. It provides the absolute perfect high-stakes environment for your pit crew, your race engineers, and your strategists to figure out how an IMSA pit stop actually works under real pressure. It elevates the entire racing operation, the whole shebang, not just the driver. Which brings us to Section 3, the BMW Motorsport Ladder. The source material uses this absolutely brilliant metaphor to describe the ecosystem, the bookshelf of racing. Think of it like this giant puzzle. BMW's motorsport ecosystem is a massive, impressive bookshelf. On one side, you have the entry bookend, the BMW M2 racing car. This is where you develop your foundational racecraft. And on the far opposite side, supporting the other end of the shelf, is the pinnacle bookend, the BMW prototype car. That represents the absolute peak of a professional sports car racing career. Literally everything else BMW offers fits perfectly between these two extremes. Let's actually walk through this ultimate hero's journey up the ranks. Step 1. You start in the BMW M2 racing vehicle. You're learning how to handle a real race car and developing your racecraft in that VPRC format. Once you've got that mastered, step 2. You literally and metaphorically shift a gear and move up to the M4 GT4. Here, you're refining your skills with way more power and aerodynamics. Then, step 3. You shift the next gear and step into the fiercely competitive M4 GT3. And finally, step 4. If you are truly exceptional at the end of that journey,
you get to cap off your career by hopping into the BMW prototype. It's a clear, defined, step-by-step ladder.
So why did BMW even build this ladder in the first place? Well, they actually listened to their customers. They were already seeing tremendous success with the M4 GT3 and GT4 for those high-level pros, but the feedback was loud and clear. Customers desperately needed an entry-level starting point. The M2 racing car was born directly from that demand. It deliberately fills out their portfolio so that BMW now truly has a tailored option at every single level of a driver's development. And that leads us to our final act, Section 4, the factory driver dream. Once you're strapped into this system, your mandate is crystal clear. Be fast, learn your craft, get really quick. When you start in the M2 Racing series, there are absolutely no shortcuts. Yes, the platform is designed to be accessible, but at the end of the day, the stopwatch doesn't lie. Your singular job is to absorb every single lesson from the endurance formats, master the procedures with your team, and maximize the potential of that car. You have to prove, without a doubt, that you possess the raw speed and the tactical intelligence to actually survive in professional motorsports. Because if you can execute on that mandate, there is an ultimate reward waiting for you: catching the eyes of the BMW factory. That's the dream, right? If you're fast, if you learn your craft, and if you get remarkably quick climbing from the M2 all the way up through the GT ranks, the decision makers at the BMW factory are going to be watching you. This entirely structured ladder exists not just to sell a few cars to country clubs, but to act as a massive scouting system. They are actively hunting for the next generation of top-tier factory drivers who will eventually pilot those prototype bookends on the global stage. So the bridge for the country club to the highest levels of IMSA has officially been built. BMW provided the hardware with the M2, they created the proving ground with the VPRC endurance format, and they've laid out a crystal clear ladder all the way up to a prototype seat. Literally, the only thing left in the equation is the driver. So the question remains, your road to IMSA starts exactly here. Are you ready to take the wheel? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep that competitive fire burning.